Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Wooded Sanctuary for Homeless Sharks. We're talking to Mr. Elmo Shark tonight. Mr. Shark, we've just witnessed the new Guillermo del Toro film, The Shape of Water. Do you have anything to say? Did you like the film?
I don't like that. I don't want to like that.
Okay, you liked it? Okay, you didn't like it. Okay, he seems to have his mouth full, so I don't think we're going to get a proper response. But thank you very much. Okay, we need another shark. Somebody give me another shark here.
Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, we are here before you to stand behind you to tell you something we know nothing about.
Indeed.
But we do know about the illustrious world of cinema, don't we, Chris?
We do. Can I just borrow that for a second?
Yes, you may.
Live from Muncie, it's Film Banter!
That's way too loud, dude. I'm gonna have to turn down the settings.
I know we are. It's okay.
It's way too loud,
I
dude.
feel like doing that.
All right, people of Earth, we are back. It's another day, another dollar that we do not receive for our blissful presence before you.
The experience is the reward, my friend.
And we hope you all got many presents this
Oh,
past
yes. Merry Christmas. Belated
this
Christmas
past
to all
Mass
of you.
of Christ. This Mass of Christ before us. Yes, we are here once again. We have diminished into obliviation, and here we are once again to review
Episode number?
a series of films. Number one, of course, The Shape of Water, the new Guillermo del Toro film.
All right,
I'm looking
put that-
forward to it, aren't you?
I am. Can we put that down?
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh, you don't like that,
It's
huh?
just so loud in my ears.
What about this?
It's worse.
Okay.
But yes, this is episode 64, folks. We cannot
It is
forget to say
episode
that.
64. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now,
Yes. very
will you
nice.
still be sending me a Valentine's
It's
birthday
December
greetings,
26th.
bottle of wine? And of course that
2017.
song is When I'm 64, boom, boom, which is our episode tonight. We're all happy to be here.
We're very happy to
well,
be here.
we are happy to be here.
I'm always happy to
We
be
have
here.
nothing else to do.
Well, I have other things to do, but I prefer to be here.
Well, good. And so do I. I have so many other things to do.
Yes.
And yet here I am, sitting before you.
So you had
So-
a good Christmas?
I did have a nice Christmas.
Where'd you go Christmas Eve?
I went over to a friend of mine's house.
Oh, yeah? How was it?
It was good. I had a good time. It was nice. They were pleasant to me.
Good meal?
I was on probation there.
I believe you were. I
I
heard
had to
about
be
that.
very good, or I was going to be ousted. One of the particular patrons of this evening's
Yes.
festivities had personally indicted me as the Antichrist.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, I would. I think Antichrist is precisely where I
guess
was.
kind of maybe.
In ever so, my friend, ever so. But anyway, I did attend Mr. Picard here, who was taking mercy.
He came over to my father's
He's taking
home.
mercy upon my humble soul.
We had a very nice time with
We
him.
had a very nice time, and
We enjoyed the pie.
Oh,
He
the
brought this
pie.
outrageous berry pie.
It is a berry pie. It's a very
was
berry
really
pie.
sweet.
It's quite.
I
tasty.
actually, I started the day healthy. I left my dad's house with diabetes because of that cake.
I'm not surprised. Now,
The
what
pie.
about the incredible apple walnut cinnamon bread that I left?
Oh, I know.
Did anybody try that?
I would have to assume that my father has torn into it.
I wonder if he has.
My dad
indeed.
loves cake.
Oh, does he? Breads and
especially
things like
anything
that.
that's like a crumb cake.
Okay.
Loves it. I'm sure he's torn into it because he was laid up all day on Christmas with
I know.
his
I know.
knee. Yeah.
Oh, was he still laid up all day?
Yeah, he just stayed in bed and
Oh,
rested
how
all day.
horrible. Well,
yeah.
you know, that's
well,
like-
his knee was swollen
Life on planet Russ.
like Donald Trump's ego, you know.
Well, there you go. Well, no, that
We don't need to
ego,
get into that,
it's
but-
so inflated.
But anyway, it was a very
Just
nice
like
Christmas.
My,
We had a great
inflated like
time.
my sheep,
Like-
which isn't too bad.
But I'm looking forward to the nice amount of films we're going to be covering
Yes,
tonight. We got some good ones.
We have quite a bit of stuff here.
We do. Shall we begin? As you would say, shall we begin the begin?
Begin the begin. Da, 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 and it's and a part of me.
Thank you.
Okay, so, all right, we're going to start the show here with Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water.
Guillermo del Toro's new film.
Hands across the water. Do, 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 do.
You want to do the premise, or shall I?
Across the line. You do the premise.
Okay, so The Shape of Water, for anybody that might not know, is filmmaker Guillermo del Toro's newest. Guillermo del Toro's. Guillermo del Toro.
Correct.
Yeah, I was blending the word del Toro with newest. I meant to say Guillermo del Toro's newest film.
Okay.
Is what I wanted
Let's
to say.
speak low key. Let's go, not Thor's brother, but low key.
Let's
go
talk
low
like
key.
librarians.
Let's go low key.
So in this film, if you haven't seen the trailer,
But make sure they can hear you.
they can hear me. I have a very good microphone.
Okay.
So the film,
Hello.
wow, it has a mind of its own.
Terrible song.
If you haven't seen the trailer, it takes place in the early 1960s in a government research facility.
Yes.
Where there are two maids that work there. One of them, played by Sally Hawkins, is mute. The other one is her friend, played by the wonderful Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer.
They're quite a pair in this film. And so they are tasked with keeping this facility clean. We see right
To
away,
the health, my friend.
yes, that a specimen has arrived in a secured water tank brought in by a security guy played by Michael Shannon, who is
He's not a security guy.
he's security.
He's like the head of he's like the head guy.
Yeah, but he says
the
he's
entire
head
facility.
security when he
Okay.
arrives.
Very well.
And he takes over the facility. He has captured and brought this object from South America. It is in this water tank. It is an amphibious type creature,
It is.
which is very much a throwback to the creature from the Black Lagoon in terms of its appearance.
It is based on that very creature.
It is, yes. That inspired Guillermo to make this film.
Yes.
And so this film is about this growing conflict between these maids and Michael Shannon, who is the film's antagonist, and a love story that evolves between this amphibious creature and the mute character
and our
played,
mute lady,
by Sally Hawkins.
Correct.
The other main central character, there's actually two. One is another research facility scientist. Who is he cares for this creature, and the other one is Sally.
I wouldn't say he cares for it. He cares for it, and he's the caretaker.
Caretaker, yeah, but he's in charge of giving its
Well, you say he
medication.
he cares for it.
He cares for it, meaning he's giving it its food.
She actually cares for it.
Yeah, no, but he is in charge of
You
its
must look at
care.
the dual
He
definition
gives
of
it.
the word
He
care.
gives it its fish food. He gives it the algae for the water, whatever. You know, he feeds it.
Yes.
And then there is Sally Hawkins' neighbor, played by the wonderful Richard Jenkins.
Yes.
Who in this film is an artist, a starving artist.
Yes, he's a starving.
And so he's
gay
her best
artist.
friend.
Yes, he isn't.
And so this film, without giving away too many spoilers, is basically a love story.
I wouldn't say too many spoilers.
No, but I'm saying I don't want to give too much away. That's what I'm
I
saying.
see.
It's basically
Very
just a
well.
love story.
Okay.
But I gotta say, I loved this film. I really felt that as much as I love a lot of Guillermo's work, I love Pan's Labyrinth.
I do too.
And I think that's a masterpiece.
I agree.
think this film is a masterpiece. I think it is his most mature film as a filmmaker. Not to say that he's immature, but I think that this film has brought him as a filmmaker to a whole nother level.
Okay.
I think it's elevated him into reaching actually a whole audience with this film that he might not have normally reached, given this love story angle. Because
Yes.
when I saw this in the theater, the entire population of the audience was senior citizens, men and women, couples together. It was very interesting.
Did you trip over any bedpans getting to your seat?
I almost did.
Yeah.
But I really loved this film. I thought Sally was wonderful. I thought the entire cast was great. I thought
It's a great cast.
Richard Jenkins, I think, deserves a nomination. I think he'll probably get one for this.
He may.
He does a great job. I thought Guillermo handled the material very well. It's a very interesting idea for a film. I love the creature design.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, and I know you and I briefly discussed it at Christmas, and we both agreed that it had such expressive eyes.
Well, the eyes of the creature, the membranes that
Yes.
literally move the eyelids. And
Yeah,
the eye,
it was really
the
well done.
focusing thing, and the has that David Bowie.
It does, yeah.
Enlarged pupils
Yeah.
that are rather fascinating.
It's beautiful.
I
And
personally
Doug
had-
Jones played the creature, by the way. He's a regular in Guillermo del Toro's films.
Oh,
He was
okay.
in Pan's Labyrinth. He played the creature with the creepy eyes with the hands.
And of course, Doug Jones, as we all know, is Kyle MacLannan's one of the roles he plays in the new Twin Peaks series. He plays Dougie Jones.
Oh, yes.
Also, Doug Jones.
Kyle
was the-
MacLachlan, you mean?
Correct. I just said that.
You didn't say McLaughlin.
What did I say?
You said McAllen or something. I don't know what you said.
McLachlan.
Whatever
I think
you
I said
said.
McLachlan.
Anyway.
I call him McLachlan.
I feel
but
like
also, Doug Jones is also the name of the senator from Alabama who was just elected.
Oh, yeah, he beat
Beat
out
out
Ray Moore.
Ray Moore.
Good. I'm getting a sense that you didn't love this film.
Well, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I thought of this film.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved. I love Sally Hawkins very,
She's
very
excellent.
much. And next week, I've already seen the film Maudie,
Maudie, I'm
which
halfway
is
through
about
it.
a artist from Nova Scotia, which
Almost
she
done
is
with
in.
it.
She's a very interesting actress,
She
Sally
is.
Hawkins.
She's got expressive eyes, too.
Well, there's something about her. She almost seems a little off.
Yeah.
When you first see her in anything, she's got that quirky kind of new girl, Zoe Deschanel kind of effect on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I found that the setup of this film was not so to my liking.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't. I just thought, oh, it's just very typical. They've taken a very simple idea
Yeah.
and expanded it. However, well, I don't want to get to that quite yet before I give you my overall opinion of the film.
Mm-hmm.
But the first part, I just thought, okay, we've already seen the trailers on this. We
Yes.
know there's a creature, and it almost looks like as though it's an evil creature, and Beauty has tamed the
Beast, of course.
namely our
It's a
little
Beauty and
Sally
the Beast
Hawkins.
story, yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
So, and the film is narrated by Richard Jenkins at the beginning
Correct.
and at the end.
That's right.
We have kind of an intake. I will say there's some love scenes in this film that you don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
expect.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful cinematography and
Yes.
beautiful art direction where
Gorgeous.
Sally and the creature are floating
Yes.
in a
tank,
In
basically.
a tank.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a tank. It's her bathroom.
It is, but
which
in
has
the-
been
obviously they
filled
shot
with
it in a
water.
tank, yeah.
Yeah, it's really an amazing visual aspect, but I
Yeah.
didn't find it was pulling me in enough.
Okay.
I wasn't enthralled with the setup and the idea, and okay, there's a creature in the tank, and okay, we know it's gonna fall in love with her, she falls in love with it. Suddenly the creature can now speak sign language, which I found okay, it has above average intelligence. However, what really got this film, and right up until the end, I was still undecided on the film. I just was, okay, the bad guy here is going to come, and this gets... I mean, we've seen this played out so many times.
And in a way, it just
before.
occurred to me, it's a very similar format to Splash with Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah.
There you go.
Almost to a T
Almost
in a
to
way.
a T in
Yeah.
a way. And the
Yeah.
underwater creature comes
I don't know
out.
why that didn't strike me till now. That's
well,
funny.
there you go.
Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
you know, something should strike you now.
Shut up.
But I'll say this. The ending of the film, for me, pulled it all together. And it got me
It was beautiful.
Very emotionally tied. And tears were pouring down my face, I must say. I was very moved by the ending. The
Yes.
ending specifically just made the whole film work.
Yeah, it was great.
All of a sudden. But the whole build-up and the back and forth, I felt I've seen this too many times.
Okay.
It just didn't do it for me. But Guillermo has an incredible visual style. Every movie he's ever made. I love Crimson Peak,
Yeah, yeah.
for example.
I
I love that
still have
film.
to see that freaking movie.
Love that
I
movie.
know, I'm gonna
I've
watch
seen
it.
it 3 times
From what
now.
I've seen of the trailers and the clips I've seen,
Well, you should see
gorgeous
it just
movie.
just for Jessica.
Well, I love Jessica too.
She's
obviously.
incredible.
She's fantastic.
And please tell the ladies and gentlemen her name. Jessica
Chastain.
Of course. And
One of
that's-
our favorite
She's
actresses.
in Molly's Game right now, which is out in theaters, directed by
She
Adam
was in
Sorkin.
my favorite film of last year.
Which one? The
Um,
Zookeeper's Wife?
no.
Oh,
No,
the secretary. Yeah, the
Yeah, no,
the whoever she was.
give me a second. My brain is fried right now. You talk, it'll come to me.
Very well.
one
But
I loved.
anyway, Guillermo has an incredible visual style. He is more of a visual actor, a visual director, I think, almost sometimes than a
Miss
than a-
Sloane.
Right.
Last year,
Oh,
Miss
I
Sloane.
love
I
Miss
love that
Sloane.
film.
Oh, well, Jessica's just outrageous.
She's great.
She's incredible.
Can't wait for Molly's Game.
So anyway, yes, I did like this film very, very much. I really did. It came together for me. Michael Shannon plays a very good bad guy.
He was great, yeah.
Everybody is great in this film.
I agree.
It's a heart wrenching tale.
It really is.
It is indeed, and I love the creature.
Awesome.
And there are aspects of the creature we can't go into that are magical and
Yes.
things like that. And
was
yeah,
cool.
it was an interesting film, and I did stray a bit watching it, but I came right back to it every time. It just kept drawing me back in.
I agree.
I kept trying to get out. It kept pulling me back in.
And that's the sign of a really talented filmmaker.
Very true, very
Because you
true.
can sit there with conventions you've seen before, but yet the way he tells the story makes it unique.
Well,
And there's no mistaking this is a Guillermo del Toro film.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I often wonder, there are many directors, I often wonder if now you've always said that, you can always tell a Christopher Nolan
Certain of
film.
them have, a handful of directors have a signature that's unmistakable. Only a few, though.
Correct.
There's only a few.
Yeah, there's not too many.
And then you
I
get those
don't
directors
think.
that are so diverse with the types of films they make,
Right.
it's almost hard to find a signature because they're all over the place.
One person I will say who makes incredibly diverse films and who does have a definite style, a visual style that is almost, it's almost, he colorizes his films in such a almost a bleak way, but then the colors are so vibrant, and that is Mr. Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, yeah.
He has a definite visual style, and almost I can't say one of my least favorite films he made, of course, was American Gangster. Oh, I didn't like that film.
You
at
know,
all.
I didn't love it either. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Denzel Washington with Russell Crowe.
I feel like it's one of those movies that's on so much that people seem to love it,
Oh,
but
I don't like it.
it's
It
overrated
does
a little
nothing
bit.
for me at all. It just should go right
to me,
down
the standout in that film is Josh Brolin. He was great.
Josh Brolin is excellent
Intimidating
in that film.
in that
Very true.
film.
And Russell's very good also.
I mean, I feel like Russell's always great.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan. I'll always be a fan of his.
Absolutely. Very true.
Anyway, why don't we move on?
We should move on to our very next film. We're going to go
Darkest
into
Hour.
Darkest Hour.
Would you like to do the premise?
I'll be happily to do the premise. This is the film about Winston Churchill, starring Gary Oldman.
Yes.
He's actually, I guess, maybe back in the early 1600s when his family got their name, he said, "Hey, look, there's an old man over there." And Gary said, "Hey, let's keep," or somebody in the, Gary's great grandfather said, "Yeah, that's a great last name." So Gary Oldman is the star of this film. This is the film to beat as far as any performance
I agree.
film this year goes.
I mean,
male
it's his
or
Oscar to
female,
lose.
It is his Oscar to lose, and he will not lose this Oscar.
This is the most long overdue Oscar
This
nomination
man
ever.
has blown the catacombs off the roof. He has
Incredible.
gone into a definite dimension of space and time that is Winston Churchill.
Mm-hmm.
I must say this, as I sat there watching it, as a wannabe actor myself, as I always think of myself, believe it or not, because everywhere I go, I seem to be acting.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt to myself that if somebody gave me all that incredible makeup, the makeup in this movie is mind-blowing.
It's probably... I can't think of anything that looks better than this.
It's so good.
It looks
I can
amazing.
only imagine that poor Gary. And there are multiple. This isn't a PBS kind of film.
No.
This is multiple shots.
Oh, yeah.
We're running in and out of this room, and I love that shot. The camera's right in front of him,
Yeah.
and he's walking through the long
The catacombs of the bunker or whatever.
the bunker. It's
Yeah.
like a big alley.
It's amazing.
And
Looks
he
great.
would go running through it, and
Yeah.
the camera always was on him
Yeah.
as he walked, and had a cigar in his mouth.
And he was pretty
and he
spry for
bounced
somebody
up
that
and down.
heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
The prosthetic was half of his weight. Added.
that right?
Yeah, and he spent 200 hours in total in the
I'm
makeup
not
chair.
surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
If I were him, I would have just slept in that makeup.
Yeah.
But the neck, the face, the everything.
It was amazing.
I mean, it's an incredible performance.
It was fantastic.
I
I was just sitting there in awe of the man. I mean,
as was
we've
I.
all known he's an amazing actor, but
We
this
do
just
indeed.
cements it.
No, this does cement it. And,
Incredible.
No, there were times in there where, and I will get emotionally moved just by an actor's performance.
It's fantastic.
And I was
in
very
this
moved
movie.
by Gary
Power.
Oldman in this. There's
Like,
just-
even Daniel Day-Lewis is sitting in the audience like, that son of a bitch.
I mean, he literally, in we say this very often about Meryl Streep and Daniel Day, is that they rearrange their chromosomes
They do.
to perform a specific role, and
Yeah.
Gary just
He
did
did
it.
it, yeah.
Wait till you all see this film; you're going to be
Yeah.
blown away.
It's an incredible piece
such
of work.
A great piece of work, and not only did I love the performance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you said to me the other night, "This is a performance film."
It is, but that's
to
the
me-
driving. To me,
well,
it's the
no,
driver
to
of the
me,
movie is the performance.
No, I
It's
thought
a-
the movie was the driver.
I thought it was a great film too.
I thought the movie was the
But-
vehicle, and he was the driver. He was.
That's what I said. He's driving the story. He's
well,
driving the movie.
It's about him.
It is,
so
but-
yes, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love the film itself.
I know.
I didn't know a lot of these things.
No, I didn't either know anything about him.
I thought Winston Churchill was a god.
I know.
I thought he was in the annals of English history. I thought he was just the great divine Saint Winston.
Yeah.
No. He was not wanted. They wanted this other man, Haskell or whatever.
Halifax.
Halifax
Yeah.
was his name, the capital of Nova Scotia, by
Yes,
the way.
yes.
They wanted this other man to be prime minister, and yet
He didn't want it.
He didn't want the job.
Yeah.
And yet he seemed to be, he was kind of like
He's
the
a
guy.
thorn in the side the whole
He was
time.
a thorn in the side. He's making judgment calls on everything
Yeah.
that Winston Churchill did. But the bottom line was, and this is a bit of a love story, which I love. There's two love stories
Mm-hmm.
going on here. One is between Winston Churchill and the King.
Yes.
And the
Played
other
by
one,
Ben Mendelsohn.
wonderful performance as the King.
Yeah, he's great.
And then we have the other performance by the young girl who we've seen now,
Lily James.
Cinderella. She
Yeah.
was in that great film with Christopher Plummer.
Yes, The Exception.
The Exception.
Yes.
I love her.
She's great.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's so perfect.
She plays his typist.
I know,
in this film.
obviously so. Well, there's one incredible film where Winston gets the sign wrong.
Oh, yeah.
He goes like this, and she and her girlfriend are saying, "I'm going to give this part away, if I may." They're
it's not
sitting
really a
there.
spoiler, 'cause
Not
this
a
is
big
part of
spoiler.
history.
It's just a little funny thing. Yes, it is. There's a little funny thing. Winston gives this. She's out in the press is doing. He goes like this, and so she and her girlfriend are sitting there cracking up at the front page of the newspaper. And Winston goes by. "What's so funny? What's so funny?" And she goes, "Sir, when you do it like this, it means up the bum. You got to do it like this
For
to
victory."
mean victory."
Yeah, that's funny.
So Winston cracks.
He
up.
loved it. Yeah, that was great.
Gary Oldman goes through in this film. He cries. He laughs.
He does
he's
everything.
somber. He's quiet. He's yearning. He's sad. Every gamut of emotion. It's like this film was written for
I
an
know.
Oscar-winning performance.
And don't forget the third love story, him and his wife.
And him and his
I
wife.
didn't know it. Yeah, it was a beautiful. Kristen Scott Thomas.
Kristen
That was
Scott
very
Thomas
good.
was wonderful. I agree.
And,
No, that's true.
but
but she was almost the third love story.
Well, that's what
In
that's
the
the
whole
third
thing.
love story. Yeah.
The first was
Yeah.
the typist.
I
The
agree.
second was the king.
Yeah.
And then the third, of course, became.
Yeah, I
his
love
wife.
the scenes of him and the king eating lunch together. And,
Yeah, that
you
was
know what my
hilarious.
favorite scene in the film, though?
When they didn't like each other
Yeah,
first.
at first,
They had
yeah.
just met.
Now, that was, if I'm not mistaken, I want to just make sure that I'm correct in my historical knowledge here. That's the same king that was calling for the King's Speech with the impediment.
I believe it
same
is.
guy, right?
Yeah, I
Because it's the
think
same
so.
period. Yeah,
It has
okay.
to be. It's in the
Yeah.
40s, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
1940, in fact.
1940, exactly. This
Right.
takes place. This chronicles
Between
the
like
first.
March and May, I believe.
Well, no, this basically this covers just May, like a month, 4 weeks, the
Yeah.
beginning of his term.
I thought it started in March.
No, it started
It
in
went to
May,
March.
early
You're
May.
probably right,
Yeah.
'cause I don't recall
It's
an
4
April then.
weeks of the beginning of his term,
Yeah.
and it's all about his hard stance against the Nazis.
Exactly.
And not wanting to do a peace treaty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other men in his league, so to speak,
Yeah.
in his in the cabinet,
Yeah.
basically, they were all for peace. They
Yeah.
wanted to shut down and just be
Exactly.
and just lay down,
Hoping for the best.
and let the Nazi machine roll over them, like France had done,
Exactly.
and Czechoslovakia,
Belgium.
had done. Everybody else had just completely let the Nazi powerhouse just knock them down. But no, I loved it. And
Yeah.
a great scene
And
in the subway.
I was going to say, that's
Oh
my favorite scene in the
God.
movie.
So
Hands
wonderful.
down. I don't want to
And
say too much
truth,
about it, but
once
it's
again,
beautiful scene.
Winston Churchill, he's late. There's traffic, so he goes into the subway and he starts talking, and everyone's going, "Oh my God! It's
Oh my God, it's Winston
It's
Churchill,
It's
yeah.
him! It's him! It's
Yeah.
him! What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen a prime minister before?"
Yeah, it was great.
And I love the great line. Of course, everybody says this joke for years and years and years and years. And the woman's holding her baby, and she says, "Look, sir, the baby looks just like you." "Madam, all babies look like me."
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's a great film.
It's a great
Great
movie.
performance.
It's funny. It's
It's-
sad.
it's
It's
great.
everything.
It's
It's a great
fantastic.
performance. A great movie.
I loved it.
I loved it.
And again, directed by the great Joe Wright, who's made some really good films.
What else has he made?
Well, for me, the big one, my favorite that he's done is Atonement.
Oh, okay.
I love Atonement.
So he's a British director.
He's a British director. He's done a
Okay.
lot of these period pieces. And,
Wonderful.
I think
Amazing piece of
I think
work.
he just did 2 or 3 movies recently that I'm forgetting.
Yeah,
Was he the one that did he just do Les Miserables? I don't know if that was him.
I'm not sure.
I gotta look it up. But it doesn't matter. It's a great film. Do you want to move on to the
We
next?
can move on.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
next film
yeah,
is
it's
going to
fine.
be.
We'll move on.
We're going to move on to Bright,
On Netflix.
which is a Netflix film starring the great Will Smith.
Yep. And Joel
And,
Edgerton.
yes,
And
absolutely.
Noomi Rapace.
You'll never know that was.
I didn't know that was
Joe
him at
Edgerton
all.
in there at all.
Yeah. If you don't know the storyline, want me to do it real quick?
please.
So Bright, basically the best way to describe Bright is picture Training Day blended with alienation with fantasy elements. So it's a
Well, we have elves. There's a little
well,
Lord
yeah,
of the Rings.
well, yeah,
kind
they
of,
will have the fantasy. Yeah, so it's basically as if our world has always had fairies, orcs, elves, etc., dragons. It's just how it is. They're just other races, along with African Americans and Caucasians,
Right.
etc., etc. And so Will Smith is partnered up begrudgingly with an orc played by Joe Edgerton.
Yes.
And they patrol the streets. They have their own lives, and they have clashes with gangs, orc gangs, black Latino gangs. The elves are the elites of the society. They run everything. They're in charge of everything. They're in Beverly Hills, or in the movie
yeah,
it's called
yeah.
like Elf Hills or something.
Right.
This movie was really cleverly written by Max Landis, John Landis' son.
Uh-huh.
And I thought this film had a lot of very cool ideas blended together with some gritty cop scenes and some bloody action. And, you know, I didn't really... I didn't have much of an opinion of it going into it. I didn't really know much about it. I saw
Okay.
one trailer. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. You know, I ended up really enjoying it for what it was. I felt that it wasn't the greatest film ever. It presented a lot of potential for me
There you go.
that I'm hoping will then be fleshed out in the sequel that's just been greenlit. I give it about,
Okay.
I give it a yes. I give it a mild 3 stars.
I give it a no.
Really?
Stay away from Bright.
Oh, see, I would
didn't
recommend
like
it.
this film.
I would recommend it.
It never got me in.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Never pulled me in. And if I'm not pulled in, I can't appreciate it.
All right.
I did watch this with a friend. That might have been a big mistake. You know, I find that I focus.
I watched it while wrapping gifts.
I focus much better by myself watching any film.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, just sitting there watching this, I was just unmoved. There was one fight scene after one. You know, they get into trouble. The whole gang surrounds them. It's the same old crapola.
I mean, it follows
I
the
was very
formula almost of
disappointed.
Training Day.
I was very disappointed that, well, to some extent, I suppose. But I mean, I didn't care for it. I have to say, it never sucked me in. I never
Okay.
got into it. I thought Will Smith gave a very phoned-in performance. I didn't find that anything, but I don't think that was his on his behalf. I can't blame Will for that. I just thought that the direction that this film went into, to me, it was just all put up on the screen, almost like in, you know, domino fashion, to just let it just go by like a wind in the night. It just flew over me. It was gone. It was over, and I was like, okay, did I enjoy any of that? I think a few times maybe there was a high or a low or a high or something, but did nothing for me. Gotta
Okay.
say, didn't care for Bright at all. And I like Will.
Yeah, I do too.
And I like Joel Etherton also.
He's great.
I think he's a great actor. He was
He's
just
very
recently in They Come at Night. They Come Out at Night, which
They Come at Night, yeah.
They Come at Night, which was
He was in a great film that we've talked about many times in the show, was Tom Hardy, Warrior.
Yeah, one of the best.
He wrote and directed a film
I love
called The
Warrior.
Gift as well.
Okay.
With Jason Bateman a couple
I know,
years ago. Rebecca Hall.
No, that was a great film.
No, he's a
also.
great actor.
No, he's a great actor.
Oh, he was even in. Recently, last year was it? He was in. Played an FBI guy. Doesn't matter. He's a good. Oh no, he was in Black Mass. He was in that as well.
Oh, was he?
I think
Okay.
he was in that.
Well, you mean the
movie with Johnny Depp. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
very
sure.
possible. Was he ever in a? He must have been in a sword slasher film, though. No,
I don't know.
I wonder. He
Have to
just
look.
has that face, you know, with the beard and everything. He just looks like a kind of guy that would be doing a Game of Thrones ripoff.
Could be. I know he was in. I
something.
believe he was also in Zero Dark 30. He was in a lot of
was
stuff.
he? Okay.
His big break came along with Ben Mendelsohn, who was the king in what we just discussed, Darkest Hour. They both really came onto the scene with an Australian film a few years ago called Animal Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Along with
Was he in that?
Joel Edgerton
Joe?
was in that.
Oh, okay.
That was his big breakthrough to
All right.
Hollywood, along with Ben Mendelsohn.
Well, the lady,
And
the woman in that film, was
Jackie
nominated.
Weaver.
She was nominated.
Well, we
for Best
mentioned her
Supporting,
last
yeah.
week. She was just in The Disaster Artist. A couple weeks ago we
what?
mentioned.
Oh, that's right.
She played the
Yeah,
woman.
yeah, she played the
She's been in a lot
the
of stuff.
mom of the girlfriend.
She was excellent in Silver Lining Playbook. She played De Niro's wife. She's very good. I like her a lot. But okay, so we got a split here on Bright. Why don't we
Yeah, I
move
didn't
on?
love it.
You don't need
I
to
didn't
linger.
love Bright at all.
Like I said, I give it a mild yes, 3 stars. You know.
And for people out there judging and saying, is this a funny show or not a funny show? No, it's not a funny show all the time. Sometimes we just sit here and talk, okay?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right,
so I'm
shall
going
we
to
move
cover
on?
briefly.
You know what? Maybe we should go right into the artist. I can never think of the.
That's fine. The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, you want to go to
since
the
I mentioned it,
disaster-
yeah.
since you just mentioned
yeah.
it now.
2 weeks ago we covered The Disaster Artist.
We did indeed.
Which is a film. It's basically the making of a film within a film. James Franco is the writer-director.
And it's
the director-actor.
based on
The Room, a film made by Tommy Wiseau, which has become a cult classic because it's been probably the most recent film to be dubbed the worst film ever made.
Yeah.
But it became a cult classic, and it came out in 2003, and it's a film that was sold as a serious drama
Well,
that became a comedy because
yeah.
of it was so ineptly made.
Well, it was
that people loved it.
Yeah, it was so badly made that
Yeah.
it was unintentionally
Yeah,
funny.
and so The Disaster Artist, which is in theaters now, covers the making of that film, which is based on a book written by one of the actors in the film named Greg Sestero.
Okay.
So what we're going to cover tonight, though, is the original film, The Room, a 2003
we
film.
can do a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you just recently
we
watched The
already
Room
did- we already
after
did,
you were watching Disaster
We
Artist.
did the Disaster Artist, of course.
Yeah, and I was familiar with The Room already.
Exactly, but James Franco directed Disaster Artist.
He did.
He remade a brilliant remake
did.
almost. I would have almost enjoyed seeing an entire film
I know.
made with James Franco in the role.
Would have been kind of funny.
You know, the key to this film and the key to The Room, which the film is based on, of course, directed and starring Tommy Wiseau,
Yes.
is that Tommy is the worst actor in
Ever.
the history of
It's so
mankind.
bad.
He's so bad, and that's why the film is funny.
I agree.
The rest of the people in the movie were okay.
They're capable.
They
Yeah.
were capable. They did their best.
Yeah.
The girl,
Yeah,
who
not
plays
bad.
his girlfriend, she did a standard.
Yeah. Exactly.
The guy who plays the friend
friend,
of Tommy,
yeah.
who ends up being with the girlfriend.
Yeah, Greg Sestero, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it was actually rather well done. I mean, it wasn't horrible. The music moved nicely through the film. I thought the editing was capable. I didn't think it was a bad film, but Tommy is horrendous in it.
You're lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
He's got this long hair. He's always wearing like this black leather jacket everywhere he goes.
And the dialogue is pretty poor,
Yeah,
too.
and,
The script. He wrote it, too. And
yeah,
produced
he
the
did.
film. Nobody still knows how he got the money.
Well, no. He's a millionaire several
Yeah,
times.
but nobody
over.
really knows the
Nobody
source.
knows how he got his money, but it's probably hereditary of some sort. I
Could
would
be.
imagine, since he's had it for so long.
Yeah.
But I liked The Room in a strange way. It's
You're
a
tearing me
horribly
apart,
acted
Lisa.
film. I mean, you have to just. Now, the thing that does disturb me about The Room is, and the disaster
Artist,
artist.
yes.
I keep want to say the desperate artist,
It's
but it's
okay.
the disaster artist. The thing that bothered me is that when we see the crowds in the disaster artist, okay, watching the film
Yes.
that they have just made, they are rolling hilariously
In the aisles,
like
yeah.
this is a Mel Brooks comedy.
I know.
No, it never gets to that point of hilarity. I mean, there are chuckles throughout,
Yeah.
and more till we get to the end of the show, but never the way these people are rolling in the aisles did I ever even come close
I think
to
it depends on the
experiencing that.
audience because
Maybe if you have a full audience.
Yeah, and this movie became prominent in the LA circles. A lot of actors like Paul Rudd and a lot of these comedic actors
Right.
started discovering this film, and they would start going and seeing it. And it became a Rocky Horror type thing where people are
I
throwing things at
suppose.
the screen
Oh,
and
all
doing all
right.
this stuff.
Interesting.
And see,
Yeah.
I have watched this film for years with some of my friends, and we
I
get
can't
together.
Imagine why.
Well, because Tuesday nights for 17 going on 18 years now has always been bad movie
guys'
night.
night.
Yeah.
The guys'
And
night.
we always get together and we laugh and watch a bad film.
I know.
That's what we do.
Well, now
because
this
you
is
can't
Tuesday night. Are
I
you gonna
always
do it
see them
tonight?
after the show.
You gonna
I'm
do it
going to
tonight?
see them tonight.
Oh, are you going to watch a movie?
We probably will. I don't
Okay.
know what. but
What
we
did you
will.
watch last week?
Well, we didn't last. Sometimes we don't necessarily watch a bad movie, but it's still called bad movie night.
Oh, I see.
A lot of times we'll just watch car crashes on YouTube and laugh.
All right,
you know,
well, that's funny.
We'll watch people failing and stuff on YouTube. But anyway,
Okay.
the point is, you can't really sit around with your friends and watch a good movie. You need to talk. You want
I
to joke
agree.
around.
I agree.
So a film that's bad, but not bad on purpose, a film that takes itself seriously but is bad because of ineptitude,
Right.
that is ripe for a bad movie night.
I agree. I
and
agree.
that is what these people have discovered with
Yeah.
The Room.
Okay.
And that's why this film became a word-of-mouth cult hit
Yeah.
that has recouped its expenses and become a
I know.
cultural
it
phenomenon.
actually did make money.
And now it's going to
apparently.
have a wide theatrical release.
Is it?
I just read that.
No.
It's coming across.
Double feature?
I don't know. Maybe
They should
that'd be
do a double
smart.
feature.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
At
They
least
should
that
show
way.
The Room and then The Disaster
Absolutely.
Artist.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so I'm glad that you finally watched The Room.
I did.
Yeah, and
I did.
saw-
No, I found it entertaining. I mean,
Yeah.
is it? I hate to give it a star. I hate to
I
say
know.
it's a 3-star film because
No.
it's not.
No.
It's really a 2-star film.
Yeah.
But as a companion piece to
It
the
works great.
Disaster Artist, it really does work. Because the Disaster Artist is a really good depiction
great film.
of the behind the
And it's-
scenes.
yeah.
And James Franco did a spectacular
did.
job acting and
He's
directing.
perfect in this.
He is really
Yeah.
perfect in
I
this.
think it's an award nomination. It's worthy of a nomination, but I probably
Yeah.
won't get it. It's kind
Well,
of a tough.
he might
He's up for
get
the Globe, I
He
think.
might get a he might get a nod. He might get an Oscar.
It'd be nice, 'cause
it's just
comedy
too many
doesn't
great
get the
performances.
respect.
Nah, it's too many great performances. We got Daniel Day and the.
Oh yeah, coming out soon. The
well,
the
no, it
Paul
opened-
Thomas Anderson
I believe
film.
it's out now.
Phantom Thread?
Yeah.
Oh, it came out. Okay.
I think it
I
did.
thought it was going to go wide in January, only open up New York and
Well, I
LA.
heard it did open up this past
Okay.
Christmas Day somewhere.
This
so,
is probably the first year where Daniel Day isn't a shoo-in. Gary
know.
Oldman is the shoo-in.
Yeah,
you
Gary
know?
Oldman is the shoo-in. But you never know.
You never know
You
these
never
years.
know.
Yeah, it's true.
The Oscars is 2 months away, so
Yeah.
we'll be finding
But he's
out.
playing a real person, which the Academy loves.
True.
They love bio.
And James almost deserves, the man's such a workaholic.
I agree.
I have to give him credit. He's in so many films.
Yeah, and just did The Deuce, which is a good show.
I know.
Which I haven't really
He's
watched more than one
amazing.
episode,
He
but I
is
loved
an
the one
absolute
episode I watched.
workaholic. No,
Yeah,
I
he's
like
great.
I like James Franco.
All right, why don't we move on? Let me do my
Why
Brad
don't you do
Status
Brad
real quick.
Status, which is the new Ben Stiller
The
film.
Ben Stiller film, and so this is not a comedy. This is a drama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a drama written and directed by Mike White, the guy that wrote and directed The Good Girl.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
also he's been in a
Jennifer
lot of his own
Aniston.
films. Yeah,
Jennifer Aniston.
he also wrote a lot of stuff. Actually, if you look at his IMDb, he's been pretty prolific. He's done a couple of the more recent films that I'm forgetting, but he's a talented writer. He wrote for TV as well. But this film is really.
Dude, you want some Coke?
Thank you.
Let me try some first.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
that Coke.
So it's a pretty simple premise. Ben Stiller is a man who's taking.
is.
Yes, he's a man. He plays a man.
He's a man.
It's a really amazing range that he has
Yeah.
playing this man.
I would have to play a doorknob
You
if,
would.
if I were to be cast.
No, but seriously, he's a guy who's taking his son from California to New York to visit colleges
Road
on the East
trip.
Coast. They're
Road
actually going.
trip.
They're actually going to Boston to check
Is it a
out.
road trip movie?
No, it's a flight movie. They fly there.
Oh, it's a flight. Oh,
But
they
they're go-
fly there.
Yeah, they're going to check out actually Harvard in the scene.
Oh, okay.
And so what this film really is at the core, it's almost a. You hear the term a lot for young person movies, a coming of age.
An adult.
Yeah, this is
a young
more
adult.
of a midlife crisis / coming of old age story. It's about a guy. If you boil it down to one thing, he is a man who's evaluating his life and doesn't feel like it's good enough.
Okay.
He doesn't feel like he's accomplished what his peers have.
Uh-huh.
He's very much living in his own self-imposed shadow.
Living in the material world.
Okay.
Those
He's
old
living
songs
in
are
his
boring.
own self-imposed shadow
Oh,
of his
okay.
college friends' lives.
I
He
see.
sees these great things that all of his college friends have done.
Now this is the kid we're talking.
No, I'm talking about Ben Stiller.
Oh, I thought Ben's going back to college, or the
No,
kid is.
you don't listen when I talk. You do not listen. You wait for a moment to do a musical number.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
No, he is taking his son to look at colleges in
Right.
Boston. But what it's really about is Ben
Oh.
introspectively
Oh, I
looking
see.
at his life
Oh, okay.
and feeling that it doesn't
He's looking
compare
back and
to
he's-
the accomplishments of his college friends
I see.
who are all over the
Oh,
place.
I got you.
Most
okay.
notably,
Stop screaming.
well, I have to get it through your
What happened
your
to the
thick-
low key? The low key. Thing
It's
we were
impossible
going
when
for?
my co-host is not listening to what I'm saying. So in the film,
I was listening.
Michael Sheen, the British actor, plays
I like Mike.
his most successful college friend,
Oh.
who's an author, who's to work for the government, who's on TV all the time.
He's dating Sarah Silverman.
He's not, but in real
He
life
is
he
in
is.
real
In
life,
real life,
yeah.
yes. So this is a film that I really enjoyed. I really was captivated by this movie.
McMahon.
Yes.
Yeah,
thumbs
up,
My wife.
Babe, yeah.
Yes. She gave me a thumbs up for my wonderful eloquence
Okay.
and ability to put up with your non-listening
Oh,
skills.
I see.
No, but honestly,
Maybe that was her Christmas gift to you. Hey, Chris, here's your thumbs up.
Exactly. But I really, really enjoyed Brad's status. Ben is
Did you?
great in this
Okay.
film. He just really plays these kind of conflicted middle-aged guys now. That he's getting these roles now. He's doing it very well.
Very good.
And I was really captivated by this film. He's just this guy who's struggling with his own demons, trying to figure out, well, what does my life mean?
As we all
what
do.
have I accomplished?
What have I done?
And it's all about him and his relationship with his son, who's
Yes.
going to be going off into the world. And Jenna Fisher plays his wife, who's wonderful.
Oh, I love Jenna.
There's a few other noteworthy actors in this film as well. Luke Wilson is another college friend.
Kimberly, up for you, babe.
But I highly
Okay.
recommend Brad Status.
I will
I
have to
honestly
watch
love
the
this film.
Okay.
And I think along with Darkest Hour and it's probably and Shape
Wow.
of Water, the three favorites of this week that I
I did
saw.
not expect that.
I loved Brad Status. I really enjoyed
I'll have to
it. It
watch
reminded me almost of a Noah Baumbach film, who does a lot of quirky stuff. He did Frances Ha.
Oh, okay.
With the great Greta Gerwig.
Thank
Gerwig.
you. Yes.
But I give a big yes to Brad Status.
Okay, cool.
You're gonna be doing now the remake of Flatliners.
I'm going to be talking
with Ellen
about,
Page.
With Ellen Page is in the remake of Flatliners. For those of you, Flatliners is about a group of I don't know. I guess they're in the
They're med school students,
Med
right?
school students, correct? And they are deliberately giving themselves enough anesthesia so that they go into a little bit of a death state.
Yeah,
Not
they
enough
flatline.
to kill them.
Yeah.
Enough for them to flatline and literally go into a death state where they now experience dreams and things that happen within this death state
Life after death,
that
okay.
are extremely realistic. And it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
The whole premise is kind of ridiculous that anybody would want to put themselves under and try and kill themselves, almost kill themselves, just for the sake of this experience. But now they then become a club.
Yeah.
And all the people within this club have gone into this state, except one guy, the Spanish guy from Why Tu et ton bien.
Oh, yes, yes.
That little guy. And he's now becoming very popular in a lot of
Yes,
films.
yes.
He's very, very good in this film. Did I like this movie? I did. There's a slickness about it. There's a great look about it. It was miles above the original.
You thought it was better than the original?
No, just in the visual sense.
The visual sense.
Visually,
that was a Joel Schumacher film.
That was a Joel Schumacher film, but I like Joel. He gave us Batman and
I
Robin.
love Joel.
Yeah, I liked him too. Actually, Joel directed the film with Jim Carrey, the Batman and Robin, where Val Kilmer.
Yes, he
That
did
was
Batman
a Joel.
Forever.
I
But then he
liked that
unfortunately
film.
did the Batman and Robin afterwards.
Well, that was
Which he publicly apologized for,
Yeah,
which is
I'm
pretty
not
funny.
surprised. That's the one with George Clooney.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Everybody
horrible.
involved knew it was crap.
But I really liked Batman Around Forever with Jim Carrey as the
Batman
Joker.
Forever. He was great.
It was
No, he was the
great.
Riddler.
He was. Oh, that's what I meant.
Tommy Lee was
Yes, yes.
Two-Face.
Correct. Yes.
I love, speaking of real quick, Joel Schumacher.
Nicole Kidman was.
She was in that.
She was beautiful. In
Speaking of Joel Schumacher, though, I love Falling Down.
Okay.
I love 8mm.
that.
Used Cars is a
He
fun movie.
also did the movie with Colin Farrell, I believe, in
Phone
the
Booth.
Phone Booth.
Yes,
Yeah,
Phone Booth.
I didn't care for that film at all.
It was okay,
It was
nothing
such
great.
a
It was a
one-note-
gimmick,
It was
yeah.
a one-note film.
Wasn't
but,
great.
Okay, but Flatliners, I liked it. Ellen Page is very good. I've always liked
I
Ellen
like
Page.
Ellen Page.
I've never,
She's good.
she kind of came to us through Juno.
Juno was
She
a big
a
break.
young,
And
pregnant
before that, a
woman,
film
right.
called, what was that movie where she tortures Patrick Wilson the whole time?
Well, that was great.
was good.
That was Candy.
Candy.
Yeah.
Hard Candy.
Hard Candy.
Hard Candy.
Very good.
I knew it was something with an H.
That was a great film.
That was a cool film.
That was a great film.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
that film, amongst women, they showed
It's an
that in a
empowerment
lot of,
movie.
It is
Yeah.
indeed, and I know it's been showed at colleges
Yeah.
time and time again, just to
a good
empower
one.
women to not to necessarily have horrifying revenge
Yeah.
upon anybody who may have abused them in their life.
to stand up.
But there's a certain but to stand up and not take it.
Exactly.
Which of course we're getting now since Mr.
The Me Too movement
Harvey
with-
Weinstein.
in the wake of Harvey,
we're
yeah.
getting this parade of
Yeah.
of very powerful women who are
Yeah.
coming forward, and rightly so, to go
Yes, I
against
agree.
the
It's
horror,
way overdue.
the men who just
reckoning, as they could say.
who just there's an abuse, there's a power option here, and
Yes.
it's amongst the sexes. So anyway, I did like the fact that Sylvester Stallone, he was being called out as a woman, but he said he called nonsense on her, and he's now suing her. So I like that because we're taking the word of a lot of these women,
I know.
and
It's
I don't
kind of
think that's
something
always,
from 40 years ago.
It's
you
always
know?
fair. I think the whole thing kind of started not necessarily with Harvey Weinstein, but with Bill Cosby. we had a parade of women who came
know.
out that he had
Yeah,
drugged
it's
and
true.
so forth.
But it didn't catch fire like this did.
didn't catch fire
Yeah.
like this. Now
Because
we see,
his was something that was a little more sinister.
wow, we see
Drugging.
CEOs
Yeah.
dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He was drugging. That takes an extra level of sick. That you're this guy who's not only taking advantage, but you're drugging these women.
You know,
With people helping you along the way.
When you're Bill Cosby, when you have the fame and power and money of
shouldn't
Bill
have to,
Cosby,
right?
you don't have to drug anybody.
Yeah.
All you have to do is, zip it out, and they'll
Yeah.
come a running.
What are we going to do about this?
Because women love
Power.
celebrity
Yeah.
almost more than anything else. Celebrity is power.
I know.
And when you have money, when you own 90% of NBC, like Bill Cosby
At
did
that
back
point,
in the
yeah.
Cosby Show,
Yeah.
he owned all the stocks. I mean, he owned 3
Amazing.
planes down at Teterboro Airport.
Amazing.
Okay, regardless, I did like Flatliners. The original is also very good. We have Julia Roberts, Kiefer Sutherland is in that film.
You also have Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick is in it.
Yeah.
I've always found that whenever Jason Patrick is in any film, it meticulously bombs, which is usually the case. There's something about there's just a non-entity about Jason Patrick, but.
You know a movie with him that I love, and it's not because of him, but I love Barry Levinson's film Sleepers.
Oh,
Big cast. De Niro,
I remember
Kevin
that.
Bacon.
Yeah. Kevin
That's
Bacon, of
about
course.
child
Yeah,
abuse
yeah.
scandal. That was a great
Yeah,
film.
that was a great film.
I love
Excellent.
Barry Levinson. He makes some really good movies.
Barry was a
He's one of my
wonderful
favorites.
actor. Yeah, he worked with Robin all the time.
Barry Levinson, good filmmaker. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, of
You
course.
said he was a great actor.
No, forgive me. I
Director,
didn't mean
yeah.
that. No, he's a great director. He
Yeah.
always worked with Robin Williams.
And he's still
yeah.
working. He just did Wizard of Lies on HBO.
Oh, did he?
About Bernie Madoff.
Okay, interesting. Did
Yeah.
he direct Good Morning Vietnam?
He did.
Was that Barry?
Yeah, Rain Man.
He also did
Tin
Toys,
Man.
that horrible film Toys that was
with
god-awful.
Robin Williams. Well, I actually haven't seen that one. Avalon,
yeah, that was horrible.
Diner, one of my all-time favorite films.
Okay, there you go.
But we're
Well, that was
digressing.
one of the best.
Anything else to say on
Flatliners,
Flatliners?
I'm going to give it a yes.
Yeah.
I don't really... I'm not going to say run out to see this film.
Okay.
If it's on late at night
Check it out.
sometime, check it out and see it.
I'm going to watch it, but I still, like I said,
yeah.
I still want to watch the original film. I've never seen either version.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I wanna see the
I think that's a
original.
mistake. I'd
You
rather
think I should go backwards?
I do.
See the new one first?
I think you should see the new one first, and then you'd be able to judge it honestly. Because the previous film is gonna slant you. It's gonna turn your review into something else.
But didn't you see the first one and judge this one the same fashion?
But I saw the first one back in 1987 when it was originally.
No, that was a 90s film.
Was it a
Yeah.
92, 93?
91, 92, roughly.
Okay, well there you go. But no,
91,
it's
I
so
think.
long ago. We're talking 27 years ago,
Yeah.
25 years ago. So no, I didn't. I remembered it to some extent, but this film is fresh in my mind, obviously. But I think you should see this film first and then go back and see.
Maybe
that.
I will.
I think it'll be an interesting experiment to do.
Okay.
And I think that basically, and you should also anesthetize yourself at the same time, or have somebody just knock you over the head, and so that you can watch it in a catatonic
Oh, that
state,
sounds good.
and then just kind of feel the movie through your own kind of advantage point.
Maybe I will.
That would be so cool.
All
If
right,
that would
so
be possible.
shall we move on?
So we're now going to
I'm gonna
move
do
on
9/11.
to 9/11.
So,
Charlie
okay,
Sheen.
so you guys might have not, nobody probably even knows this movie exists.
I didn't.
I
Well,
had to
I
watch this movie because
pointed
of the
it out
cast. So,
to you.
although I knew about this movie already, though. I knew about 9/11.
did you?
Yo, I saw the trailer months ago.
Okay.
So, yes, somebody made a movie about 9/11.
Don't look at that, by the way. Look at that.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm watching it.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Okay, yeah. So there's a movie. Somebody made a movie about 9/11. It's called 9/11. But it's not a huge Hollywood movie. It's a lower budgeted film that stars Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
You have...
When did Charlie make a movie last?
he had a cameo in a couple things. That's it.
Not too much.
He was in that...
Scream. He was in the Scream. Not Scream, but the takeoff on the Scream films with Anna
Scary
Faris.
Movie.
Scary
Well,
movie.
most
correct.
recently in film, I watched him in the second of the Machete films. He played the
Oh, that's
he played
a
the
long time
president.
ago. Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like 5 years ago.
That's a while.
But anyway, long story
I
short,
thought De Niro was the president in that.
no, De Niro was the bad guy. I think in the first one, he played he had
okay.
a crooked senator. He
There
played.
you go.
But this film,
By the
Whoopi
way,
Goldberg is also
I'd
in
like
this.
to make a plea to Robert Rodriguez to please make some more movies. I miss your stuff.
No, he's got a huge. I just saw a trailer. He's got a big movie coming out next
What
year.
is it?
We'll look it up later. I saw the trailer.
Oh,
It's
okay.
coming out.
Oh, wonderful.
I saw a teaser for it.
I love
It's a
him.
big thing.
He's great.
Okay, so this film, yeah.
So 9/11, we have Whoopi
so
Goldberg.
with Whoopi Goldberg, we also have Gina Gershon and Luis Guzman. Those are like the main actors in this film. So it's
Okay.
not, it's kind of a funny cast. But the whole film basically takes place in one of the World Trade Center elevators as everything is happening.
Right.
The movie cuts back and forth from the elevator where the main actors are to the newsreel footage on CNN or whatever. So
So they're stuck in this elevator. So we
Yeah.
know they're going to die.
Well, you wonder if they're going to survive because some people
Oh.
were rescued from elevators.
Oh, okay.
There were 63 elevators. I didn't realize there were that many elevators in the tower.
Oh,
Yeah,
and two towers.
No, just in the one tower. They were saying there's 63 elevators.
Really?
I had no idea there were that many.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a lot. I had no idea.
Well, figure there has to be
Rows and rows and
20 on this side, 20
well,
on
you remember
this
too,
side.
they might not all go to all floors either. Remember,
Well,
some
that's
buildings
true.
they
Yeah,
only
yeah.
go to certain floors. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So Whoopi Goldberg is like a dispatcher of the elevators. She's in the control room.
Kimberly, thumbs up,
Yeah.
babe. Thumbs up.
Charlie Sheen is a guy that almost owns the building. He's a very wealthy Wall Street
Okay.
guy who has an office there. Luis
Who
Guzman
has
is a,
AIDS?
yeah, Luis Guzman is a maintenance janitor, and then we have also in there with him. There's a one woman in there who I don't remember her name, and there's this actor, African American actor named Wood Harris, who is famous for being in The Wire. He's
Oh,
like a
okay.
bike messenger.
Very good.
So these guys are strangers trapped in an elevator, and they have to survive, and they're communicating with Whoopi Goldberg the whole time. And so, obviously the movie.
Where's Whoopi?
I just said she's she's in the control room.
Oh, she's
the
the dispatcher.
elevator dispatcher.
Okay.
And so, as you can imagine, as the film progresses, the other plane hits the other building, power goes out, this and that. It's a struggle to survive.
Okay.
And okay,
So
so
wait, the plane has hit the previous building. Has
First.
the previous building fallen down yet?
not yet, but that happens
okay.
during the film.
Oh, okay.
Because they're in the first tower, the first one that gets hit, but it's on the 90th floor or whatever, right?
So there's a lot of authentic footage.
There
in
is,
this
yeah,
film.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the second tower gets hit while they're in the elevator.
Oh.
But then the second tower, the second one to get hit, falls first. So the first tower that got
that
hit,
right? Oh, I thought the
lasted
first tower
longer.
went first.
No, the first tower went second.
It did?
Yeah.
The first tower that got hit?
Stayed up longer than the second tower.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, that's a fact. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. I remember it. I remember the day vividly. I
All
watched
right.
TV all. Believe me, I'm,
All right. I
yeah,
trust you.
that's what happened.
So, did you like this film?
I'll be honest with you. I kind of did.
Okay.
I went into the movie thinking it was going to be a
Garbage.
gag. Yeah, because
Looks
with
like
that,
garbage.
No offense to these actors, but you hear 9/11 movie, you think,
With Charlie Sheen.
maybe it should be
I know.
big actors honoring the day.
Yeah.
So we have Charlie Sheen in the lead with Whoopi Goldberg, Luis Guzman. But I'll tell you this, they all did a capable job. Yes, the film, it does lend itself to a little melodrama. There is quite a bit of melodrama in some of the performances, in some moments. But again, we can't blame the actors.
True.
But this film
Is
apparently
this a
is ba-
small budget film?
yes, but they handled everything. The filmmakers handled everything in a way that actually it didn't seem like low budget.
Okay.
Because there's a scene where somebody, I'm not going to say who, one character is walking out of the towers amidst the smoke onto the street.
Wow.
And you really kind of believe, oh wow, that kind of seems like the street.
Looks real.
Yeah, obviously everything in a studio. But
Okay.
it lended itself to some believability.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Speaking of studios,
Yes.
when the film first comes on, what's the studio that made this film?
Oh, bunch of production studios you've never heard of.
Oh, okay.
Because there's so
This
many of them
wasn't a
now.
20th Century
No, this
Fox
has
or
no. It's not a
Universal.
major thing. No,
Major
there's like
studio.
3 or 4 studios that
So
released
this
it.
was a TV, small independent film, obviously.
Yeah, but I think it was well more than a TV studio, but I mean an independent film company, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, and it might have even been financed through somebody from Canada. A lot of these movies are Canadian financing.
Right.
I could be wrong, but it's a lot of companies I never heard of, nevertheless.
Hey, Kimberly, thumbs up,
Yeah.
babe.
But
We see your picture right there. That's why I keep saying that.
yes. So I really thought that it's a 2.5-star film. I give it a mild yes.
But you
because
did
I didn't
like
think-
it, though.
I liked it more than I thought. 'Cause I totally thought it was going to be ridiculous.
You thought it was going to be garbage.
Yeah, but it wasn't garbage. It
Okay.
wasn't garbage.
No, I do plan to watch it.
I think it's worth watching once.
Okay.
It's by no means
Well,
going to
certainly
change
better
your
than
life.
experiencing the film.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but I thought that everybody did a decent job in terms of the performances.
Interesting.
I enjoyed it.
All right.
But I was going to say before.
How's
Apparently, this
Charlie
is-
Sheen in this?
He's not bad.
Yeah.
There's one scene where I thought his acting was a little cheesy, but I thought throughout the film he played this guy well. Gina Gershon in the film is his wife, and they're going through a divorce.
Oh, okay.
And this film is based apparently on a play. And so
really?
so you can kind of get the feel that, okay, they're in one location. A lot of plays are one singular
Okay.
location.
Right.
So without beating a dead horse, I can mildly recommend 9/11. It's not it's not a joke. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not this movie that
Well,
because
you
people are
started
good
out very enthusiastically liking this
I
film.
did. I liked it more than I thought I was
Okay,
going
well,
to.
then you have to give it a 3-star
Yeah,
film in a way.
2.5.
For this genre of film,
Yeah.
you almost have to say it's a 3-star film.
You know, it would have been interesting to see what a 9/11 film on a high budget would have been.
We had that film.
Well, World Trade Center.
World
but
Trade Center.
That
I really liked that film a lot.
It was okay. I liked it.
A lot
but,
of people didn't, but
well,
I really liked it.
You know why I didn't love it?
Oliver
Is
Stone did a great
No,
job.
I thought he did a good job, and everybody was good. But here's what I wanted from a 9/11 film. I wanted a grand scale international 9/11 film in the style of JFK. The Arab people, the government, the reaction, the event, the aftermath, the court proceedings. Throw the conspiracies in there. I want a big movie. I want a huge movie.
We gotta get you decaf.
That's
man.
what I
There's
want.
No question.
I wanted a really big movie.
And I want decaf for you.
I don't need it.
Yes, you do.
I'm naturally wonderful.
You're so hyped up.
Because I want things. Don't we
I
all?
want things.
Don't we all want things?
I want this movie to be an international film.
I do. I want a big movie.
No, I understand.
You
that.
know.
I understand.
Anyway, why don't we move on to?
You know what I want, which has never been made, and I still want to make that film. I want to make a proper film on the Black Dahlia.
Oh yeah.
I never had an actual.
Didn't De Palma do one that wasn't
No,
great?
it was horrible.
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
Hartnett was in
Yeah.
that film. It was horrible. He didn't actually go into the murder of this
Oh, yeah.
woman. A woman is cut in half, left in a Hollywood, a
hotel.
lot in. No, not in a hotel.
Oh, wasn't it in a hotel?
No, they left her on the corner of a
shit.
grassy area.
Oh, my goodness.
Just cut her in half, left her there. The
Wow.
police find her. Photographs are all over the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
it was supposedly a specific doctor. I mean,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
come out just like Jack the Ripper.
Never-
we have
cold
never,
case, yeah.
never has come to fruition.
See, I've
of
seen
who
documentaries
did
about
this.
it, but I haven't seen that
I
film.
know, but
Yeah.
I want to see a film made
Yeah.
about the Black Dahlia because we've never seen and the things that happened to this woman prior to her being
Yeah.
cut in
Was she a
half.
prostitute or was she a
No,
put-up model? Right.
no, she was a beautiful, beautiful woman, and
Yeah.
she was just basically. She wanted to be a film star.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get around, and she was trying to sleep with the right people.
Oh, I see.
She really was. She found
with the
that,
wrong
well,
person.
the Hollywood, that was the casting couch
Yes.
days, which still exist,
Of
even though
course.
Harvey Weinstein took it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
But there's an element of horror to this
Hmm.
story that I still have never seen on film, and I want
That would be cool.
bad.
Yeah.
I would like to direct that film. I'd like to make a very small movie because the real center is not the police investigation, which obviously to this day has never turned up anything. I mean, there are certain elements that have, but we still have no idea who this woman met with at this specific place.
Do we know her
It's a
name?
Wonderful book. Oh yes, her name is. I don't know it off the top of my head. Oh no, she Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I keep wanting to say. Oh gosh, I know there's people out there who are looking it up right now.
It's all right, we'll figure it out.
It's Beth something or other, and she was a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a true case, a true story. There's a wonderful book written by James. He's a fantastic writer. Of course, my memory is horrified. But
Was that James Elroy that wrote
yes,
about that?
James
He
Elroy.
wrote L.A. Confidential.
He wrote L.A.
Yeah.
Confidential, and he wrote the definitive book. And also, one was written by. There's another man who wrote a great book on it. But beside from these two books, I don't know why a screenplay has never been written properly.
Yeah.
I'm getting off on a tangent here of something.
But that
I
sounds
don't
good
want
to me.
But I'd love to see a proper story. But this woman was made to eat horrible things, and
so she
they
did not have a
found
pleasant death.
feces in her
Oh.
stomach, and I mean, there were just horrible things done to her, and I think it's almost a sin and a crime that obviously that they never found the people who
I
the
agree.
man who did this to her. She was completely, there was that film that was done that they allude to that film. That was the one with Robert Duvall. De Niro is a priest.
True Confessions.
True Confessions,
Yes.
and I always think of Charles Durning in that film.
Yeah.
That was the closest we got to actually seeing the story of the Black Dahlia. Robert Duvall, towards the end of the
Mm-hmm.
film, finds a bathtub that is just blood coated.
Yeah, if I remember that movie correctly, he's
and
the
there is
cop.
a
De
woman-
Niro's his brother, who's a priest.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good film.
It was a good film.
I forget who directed that
And
film, but that was good.
It was kind of based on. I saw a rough cut of that in the theater. A rough cut.
Oh, like a preview screening?
It was like a.
You give
no,
your
it was a
opinion
rough
afterwards?
cut. They didn't even. They had like areas that would just go white.
Oh.
And that circle 10,
Yeah,
9,
yeah,
8,
yeah.
7. That little
Yeah.
TV dial that would go backwards. Anyway, regardless, I want to see a Black Dahlia film, and I might have to make that.
If Hollywood is
myself.
listening,
I'd love
fund
to
this
just,
man's movie.
I'd love to just sit.
We'll
I'd
make
love
it.
to direct that film. I really would. Let's go right into the new Reese Witherspoon god awful tragedy of a horrible.
I didn't
film
want to
that
see this film.
It's
I
just-
love Reese.
Oh my God! You know,
Waste of her
You
talent.
talk about going to a Christmas party and getting diabetes. This is a film that is so egocentric on behalf of Reese Witherspoon. She's the center of like 4 to 5 men's attention in this movie. You know, Reese had everything to do. You know, she's such an egomaniac, and you know, I have such little opinion of her ever since she was caught by the police.
I know. We've covered that on the
I
show.
know we've
I
covered
put that
it many
clip on the
times.
show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I cut it into one of the episodes recently.
Good. Yeah, and she's screaming at the cop, "Do you know who I am?" Her husband is drunk driving.
I know.
He's stopped by the police. But anyway, regardless, this is a film. Oh, look how beautiful she is at the age of 40. All these young guys, they all want to love her and be with her. And, oh, it's just sickening to death. And the ending is just...
I just thought the premise was
it's just,
implausible to me.
Horrible. Yeah, it's about 3 guys who, they're writing a screenplay. They need a place to live. They find out, oh, she's one of the friends of one of the kids.
Yeah.
She moves in. Michael Sheen, however, does play her ex-husband. He's very good, you know, I mean...
You know, I like Michael Sheen, but I feel like he's
spreading
basically
himself a little
Well, he's
thin
also
here.
basically just a supporting actor these days. I don't
Yeah.
see him getting that many lead roles, or maybe
Well, the
that's
last big one I think he may have had was the Nixon Frost film.
Yeah,
He did with
Frost
Frank
Nixon.
Langella. He played David Frost.
I mean, he's great. I love him. I think he adds
He's
something
excellent.
to everything he's
Yeah,
in.
he's kind of the Tom Lennon. And I'm going to get to Tom Lennon shortly because he was in. He's one of the stars of Pottersville, which
yeah.
is on. But okay, I'm going to give. I'm going
thumbs
to
down.
give Home
Yeah, I
Again
didn't see
a
that
big
film.
thumbs down.
I'm not planning
Oh
on
my
seeing
God,
it.
it's just horrible.
No.
This is a Hallmark film,
Yeah.
if anything. It's just
At
got.
best, right?
It's a squishy, gushy chick film
Okay.
that even chicks will hate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, take a little bit of note from Bad Moms and
Yeah.
Bad Moms Christmas, etc. You know, that whole Rough
Yeah,
Night.
yeah.
These a lot of women films where there's, you know, but Reese is, I just feel the ego that is just kind of sliding off her oily skin to had made this film, and it's a horrible film. And I don't dislike her as an actress.
No,
I
no,
think
I
she's
don't
a
either.
good actress. She won her Oscar, rightly so, Walk the Line.
Great performance.
13 years ago,
I
and
agree.
I think she was great in that film, and she has wonderful acting chops. This is just. I actually like The Wild, the film she just.
That was a
did.
good film.
That was a good film.
I liked that
I
movie.
liked
That was very
film.
good.
It was a little
I
on the
enjoyed
frightening
that.
side, and
Yeah.
yet it never really got frightening.
No.
But it still was an interesting little
Mm-hmm.
piece of work. I enjoyed it. I gotta give it a no. I don't want people to go see this. Let's get right to our next film, which is called Patty Cakes. This has already been
Yes.
done.
I covered
by
it when it
my
first came
cohort.
out, yeah.
This is about a very heavy-set woman. She's kind of being made fun of by her local group, and then she kind of turns to being a rap star.
Yeah.
Her mom is played by Kathy Moriarty, who was De Niro's
No, that's her
girlfriend.
grandmother in the film.
Oh, was that her grandmother?
No, her mother is played by that wonderful actress who seems to be in everything now. What's her name? She's really great. It'll come to me. I'll look it up.
Okay.
She's great. Her mother's great in this film. It's an
Okay.
Oscar nomination.
Well, regardless, Kathy Moriarty
Could be worthy of one.
is from Raging Bull. That was her.
I didn't recognize her in this
claim
movie.
to fame. I recognized her right away. But the
Yeah.
young woman is
Oh,
really
Bridget
this-
Everett is her
Bridget
mother.
Everett.
That's her
Oh,
mother.
she's dynamite.
She's excellent
I
in this
love
film.
Bridget. She's a good friend of Amy Schumer's.
She is, yeah.
Very heavy-set lady. She's got.
And the star is Danielle
I
McDonald.
think she can actually take her breasts and wrap them around herself.
Oh, leave her alone.
She makes fun of that.
No, she
I
does.
saw her do a stand-up thing, and she would like take her breasts and like she'd grab some guy in the audience and put him in her chest and go, "Ah, you know, let
Yeah.
me smother you." She's hilarious.
You know, if a male comic
Very
grabbed
funny.
the woman off the audience and put her on his
Oh,
crotch,
forget about
it would be an international
Oh
incident.
no, it would be all over
Yeah.
CNN, and the man would be.
So there is a little double standard
He'd
there,
be
by the way.
ousted from showbiz.
A little double
You're
standard,
absolutely right.
which is not fair.
Well, yeah, but
You know?
women, you know, are far more persecuted in
I understand
almost
that.
an evil, not an evil way, but
No, I know.
in a detrimental way,
Subjugation
Where this
almost.
was totally on a fun thing.
No, I understand that. But if we're talking
But
about,
I know.
if
You're
we're
right.
talking about equality, it should be equality for all.
But then again, how many times do we see that you know the 5th grade teacher who is you know having sex with her
With a
student,
student, which I don't understand. Get a
and
guy your age.
They.
But props to that guy, I guess.
I guess
He's
so.
the star
I
amongst his
don't
friends.
know, but yeah, he certainly is.
And it's always a really attractive teacher
Why,
too.
I know.
You notice that?
Why didn't that happen to me?
It's
when
never
I
like
was
Jabba the
growing
Hutt.
up?
It's like
I know.
a 10.
I would have loved it had one of my teachers just pulled me into the janitor closet and had her way with me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She sharpened your pencil for you.
But hey.
So what did you think of Patty Cakes?
I love Patty
I thought it
Cakes.
was great. Wasn't
You
it
know,
great?
I'll tell you this. It is a far more beautiful looking film than I expected. This is an artsy movie.
Yes, very.
It's colors and reds
Yeah.
and oranges and blues and greens. Every shot is really a very well comprised
Mm-hmm.
piece of artistic length, and we get some real girth of performance here. This young woman, she's in a series now on Netflix. Our main star. Do you remember her name off the top of
Yeah,
your
I just
your
said it.
brain?
I think it was Melissa McDonald. Is that
Oh,
what
Melissa
I think
McDonald.
it's what it
Okay,
is.
she's fantastic in the film. She kind of.
I'm
doesn't-
sorry. Forgive me. Danielle McDonald. I
There you
apologize.
go.
She's getting a lot of work.
She's getting a lot of work. She's excellent, and she's basically a female Eminem.
Yeah.
And she proves herself at a local club. She
Yeah.
goes to a club and she fails, and she's got an Indian friend and
He's
another
great.
friend.
I love.
He's
And
very
you know
good
what's
too.
funny? She has that. She has that friendship / almost romance, I guess, with the young African American
Right.
kid
Yeah.
who
that's
lives in the
great.
woods.
I love that.
And
No,
it's-
he lives in a trailer.
Yeah, but it's in the woods.
It's in
the
the
middle
woods.
of the woods.
Yeah. Is it a trailer or
No,
a
it's a
cabin?
shack.
It's a shack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it's-
love that guy.
And I gotta say
It was
this:
so
I'm not
cool.
into rap, but that music, I was moving my legs to that one track.
All right, watch it, Grandpa.
Yeah, I like that
I don't
one
want your
song.
pacemaker to go dead.
I like
on
that
us
one
here.
song.
No, it was good. The ending is good.
I love how
and,
I don't want to give it away, but I love how you could just say her mother kind of comes around in a way. I thought that was really cool.
Exactly, of
I love
course.
that.
Well, she shows up at
Yeah.
the, but this is really 8 Mile female.
Pretty much.
Female
But it's a
version.
great film. I love
it
this
really is a
movie.
great movie. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's got every.
I love
aspect.
movies about underdogs.
I do too. And this certainly is an underdog.
This show is
film.
an underdog.
Oh, you can say that again.
We are the underdogs of YouTube.
Yeah, hey, boy, what a sad commentary that is. All right, let's move right on. Patty Cakes, I
Well,
loved it. He loved it. He reviewed
I
it.
love
about,
probably in August, right?
Yeah,
September?
probably about 3 months ago, exactly.
I
4
think
months
given the
ago.
time, we should do just one more film. So what do you want to do? You ready to
I'm
reference
just gonna
Pottersville? Or do you want to do the other thing?
I did reference Pottersville.
Wanna
It's
end with that?
I could end with that.
It's on Netflix.
Well, I'll tell you, I never did see Labyrinth before with David Bowie.
Well, which one would you prefer to talk about?
Well, I could do Pottersville. We'll do Pottersville. We'll save Labyrinth for another time.
Unless you can do
Pottersville-
both real quick.
I could do them both very quick.
Fine, do it.
Pottersville is just a movie about Michael Shannon. He's a very meek, mild, almost a Walter Mitty kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's married to Catherine Hendricks, right from Mad Men, and
Christina Hendricks.
Christina Hendricks,
Yeah.
forgive me. And the whole town is kind of in a slump. They're
Yeah.
all doldrum. The cop is played by Ron. What's his name?
Is it Ron Livingston?
No, Ron from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
I don't watch the show. I saw only the first
You know
season.
this guy. He's one of the great actors of all time. Played
Oh,
Hellboy.
you're talking about Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Forgive
Ron
me.
Perlman.
I apologize.
I didn't know you were referencing a main.
No,
main guy.
Ron
Yeah,
Perlman is also in this film. He plays the cop, and
Oh, that's
also the
pretty
guy
cool.
from Deadwood.
Great.
Who's the guy from Deadwood?
Ian McShane.
Ian
That's
McShane,
right. I
he's
saw
in this
him
film, too.
because my wife was watching this film over the weekend.
There you go.
And I caught Ian McShane's face.
you, babe. That's you,
That's you, kid.
Thumbs up.
Okay, but anyway, so what happens basically is Michael Shannon decides this is on Netflix.
Yes.
Everyone, you may go to Netflix and watch Pottersville. It is there for your viewing pleasure. It is a comedy. Michael Shannon decides to dress up as Bigfoot. And he
wow,
has
that
this
sounds
Bigfoot
awesome.
outfit that he goes running down the street, waving at people.
Oh, I gotta see
carrying
this.
on. So now they bring in the big guns. They bring in Tom Lennon, who is an Australian TV show, kind of a la the guy who got killed by the
The
what's
Gator
his
Man.
name? Yeah, the Gator Man.
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin, who
Yeah.
died actually. He was bit by a.
Yeah.
He got bit by a horrible
Underwater, right?
underwater fish type thing, a poisonous
Yeah.
snake or whatever eel got him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have him. We also have Ian McShane, who's now the serious guy. I want to kill Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Tom Lennon just wants to kind of, act nice with it
Wow.
and
I had
photograph
no
it.
idea what this movie was about.
It's a comedy.
It sounds fun.
And Judy Greer
I love
is
her.
also in
I
the
love
film.
Judy
She
Greer.
kind of plays the girl who kind of really, from afar loves Michael Shannon.
Ah.
This is Michael Shannon's movie, and if you just
He's
saw,
great.
if you just did watch Shape of Water, and you saw Michael as a really bad guy, here we see Michael as a super gentle soul.
Awesome.
He's just the sweetest, nicest guy you can possibly see.
I love Michael
I
Shannon.
didn't love this movie. There's a silliness to it. There's almost There's almost the movie with Jimmy Stewart.
It's a Wonderful Life.
That they show every Christmas time.
Yes, It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful life. Exactly. It's got that kind of a feel to it. It is a Christmas film, by the way.
Is it a film for the whole family to enjoy?
Not only is it the whole family, it's the entire episodic incountenance of the world could
good.
watch this film
Great.
with no absolute. This film is rated -G.
Okay.
I think, which is under G. It's so
Nice.
incredibly gentle and sweet and nice.
Great.
It's a cute little.
You know,
movie.
it's nice to have those movies once in a while.
It's a cute little film.
Great.
I did feel obligated somehow to watch the end of it. It's only 90 minutes long.
Great.
I'm going to give it a mild thumbs up just because the nature of the film is just so. It's got a very sweet
So
essence
it's
to it.
okay.
Labyrinth, there's not much to say. It's
A classic. I love Labyrinth. I grew up on this movie.
I didn't really care for it too
Well,
much.
I can't imagine you'd like it other than
Well, I
admiring the amazing puppetry.
Well, David Bowie
and David
is in
Bowie's
this film.
performance.
That's why
it's
I
his
wanted
movie.
to see it. Jennifer Connelly,
Yeah.
very young Jennifer
Yeah.
Connelly, is in Labyrinth. It's really a Muppet movie.
Yeah, it is.
But it's kind of the Wizard of Oz, if
Yeah.
you will. She's going through this wonderful world.
Yeah.
And then
It's a
of
redemption
course,
story
yeah,
in a way.
it's kind of cool in a way.
But you know what's funny is that now that you've seen Labyrinth,
Yes.
go on YouTube and type in Labyrinth Honest Trailer. They break down the movie for you in hilarious fashion
Oh, really?
and show you just how creepy the storyline really is.
It is a bit
This
creepy.
guy who wants not only to kidnap this baby, but he's in love with a 14-year-old girl.
Right.
It's funny. Check it out.
I'm going to say this about the movie right off the top here. David Bowie is, if you saw Man Who Fell to Earth, David Bowie is a well-endowed male.
That's
There's
a
no
joke in this
question
movie, too,
about
the
it.
codpiece.
Yeah, the codpiece that he wears literally is,
It's in your face.
It's right in your face all the times. I mean, you can practically see the outline of David Schwantz
Yeah.
before your eyes. It's way too much for a kid's film. It's really amazing. I remember John Lennon when he was on a radio show once, and he was talking about his auntie, and she'd go to the ballet. But she couldn't stand the young men's, you can see their bits and pieces up there, and so she always hated that. And John told it in hilarious fashion. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose we must bid you adieu. We are at the 108 segment, so
We'll see you next
we
week
hope to see you next week.
with more new films.
Hopefully more new people shall be watching, so we bid you adieu.
We thank you for
Good night,
watching.
everyone.
As always, check us out
Now
on
we go
YouTube.
back into the
Check us out on Facebook.
Facebook.
And email us.
Email.
Filmbanter
Come
at gmail.com.
on.
He always does this. He does this man who's deaf. This is your deaf voice. Damaged. Damaged man.
All right, goodbye.
Good night, guys.
Bye bye. Bye
We'll see you
bye.
next
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
And that's it, folks.